August of 2002, and I'm headed into my junior year of high school, and I'm working long hours for my father at his law practice. Part of my duties included dialing for dollars, which meant calling and asking people very politely to pay off their delinquent accounts that they had owed to our clients. One such client was a local cable company that operated in a rural part of northeast Ohio. On a hot August afternoon, I dialed up one such debtor who owed a little over $100. The call went directly to voicemail. To my surprise, the voicemail was an advertisement for an upcoming wrestling show coming to the Canton Memorial Civic Center called September to Remember. The main event was set to be the Road Warriors of Hawk and Animal against Jerry the King Lawler and the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. Also appearing on the card would be New Jack, Sabu, Tough Enough's, Kenny King. I hastily got up from my desk and ran down to my dad's office, filling him in on all the pertinent details. He said he'd handle it directly. And the next day I walked in from school and football practice, and our secretary, Kathy, telling me to see my dad as soon as possible. My dad had spoken directly to the promoter, Shasta McNasty. He and Shasta had come to an agreement. My dad would pay off the debt personally in exchange for 4 front row seats and a chance for me to visit Shasta's wrestling school to watch a practice. What a deal. At the practice, the student asked if I owned a video camera or had access to one through my school. We had a family video camera that was used to film my football games and my brother's swim meets, I said. At this point, Shasta had come over and asked me to film the show. He said, quote, "Feel free to film the show from the front row." I filmed the entire show, featuring an opener of a very young Nigel McGuinness. The main event dream match that did in fact take place between the American Dream Dusty Rhodes and Jerry Lawler against the Road Warriors went all of 4 minutes. But they made up for that 4-minute match with a 15-minute Dusty Rhodes speech. After the show, I turned over the tapes, and in that very second, I realized that the promoter had swindled me for a free filming of his wrestling show, as there was absolutely no other cameras anywhere in the building. And to my knowledge, this show has unfortunately never seen the light of day.
Oh, we're going to have to ask Shasta McNasty about that. Shasta, still on the scene, still out there, still dealing with people like Nigel and Buff Bagwell. So after this ends, feel free to send out a tweet to Shasta, see if that footage is still available in the Shasta archives. Also, I don't know if that was a swindle. I'm going to say that was part of the $100 bargain that your father got. The first thing I took away from this call was what a great dad. And caller, I think you know that. This is a dad who probably realizes that his son is obsessed with wrestling. I'm going to relay this to my own father, whereas my dad knew I loved wrestling, but didn't know anything about the wrestling scene, didn't know how to help nurture my love for professional wrestling. But if it's at your job and it lands in your lap in ways of somebody in debt during a dialing for dollars phone call, well, then this is a great way to help out your son. And a great dad thing. Your dad did a great dad thing. $100 for 4 front row tickets. At that time, maybe that wasn't a $25 a ticket show, but with that main event, maybe it was. And you got to go to the school, and I'm going to guess meet some of the wrestlers, and you film something and you hand it over. I think it's okay. But I did love the story in terms of this was just real life, doing work for dad, and then this wrestling thing just appears. A part of what's supposed to not be your life. This is supposed to be your outside wrestling world fantasy life. This is dad's work. And just a solid hotline for local wrestling. I remember him so well, and it brings back fun, nostalgic memories. Hey, thanks for watching. That call was part of a whole podcast called Wrestling Anonymous. Listen to the whole thing weekly. Wherever you listen to your podcast, go subscribe. And while you're at it, subscribe right here on YouTube to Colt Cabana's channel. Thank you.